680's Richard Southern joins us. Richard, a big money-losing Monday for stocks on news that the U.S. may block Chinese firms from investing in American technology companies.
Yeah, Wall Street Journal with a report on that this morning, Francis. The Trump administration refuting that report, but Wall Street and indeed Bay Street have been very concerned as of late about the trade issue, not so much with Canada, but between the U.S. and China. So the Dow falling more than 300 points today on this concern. TSX, as you saw off the top, was down more than 1% as well. We saw chip makers like Intel and Micron and NVIDIA kind of lead the way lower on Wall Street because of their importance in China, and they rely a lot on the Chinese marketplace. Harley-Davidson stock down 6% after the company announced it will ship production of its motorcycles headed for Europe to factories outside the United States. Very much a situation of Trump's trade tariffs backfiring. So it was indeed a money-losing Monday, Francis.
This next story is interesting. A Toronto area mall may soon disappear in favor of residential units.
And I wonder if you're going to see more and more of this. This is Agincourt Mall we're talking about at Shepherd and Kennedy. The owners want to do away with the mall and replace it with 5,000 residential units. Toronto.com reporting the owners want to open up the space with public roads and parks along with some retail and new condos, creating something similar to the shops at Don Mills, what they've done. The project is the second largest active residential application in front of the city of Toronto right now. More details are expected next year, but you know, with the decline in retail, Francis, I wouldn't be surprised to see more malls going down that route.
Interesting. Uber has been allowing tipping for a year now, and the ride-sharing company has just released some stats regarding how much gratuity Canadians are leaving. So are we cheap or are we good?
I think overall we're good. $25 million, Francis, is the amount that Canadians have all told tipped their Uber drivers over the past year. $25 million. Highest rating tipping cities. Who tips the most? It's Lethbridge leading the way, followed by Quebec City, Calgary, the Niagara region, and Windsor. Toronto, nowhere to be found.
I see that.
Yeah. Most common trips to tip on, airport trips lead the way, followed by those that had a good interaction with their driver, and weekend and night trips. Like this next one, most popular times to tip Uber. Leading the way, it's Friday at 2:12 a.m.
When you're coming home from the bar,
you're feeling
and you don't
extra.
know how much you're tipping.
it's either that or you're feeling very generous.
Right.
So at that point, you can see Saturday evening and Sunday morning also leading the way. The drivers don't know who tips them. That's the thing, right? So not everyone is down with tipping in their Uber drivers, but $25 million is no chump change.
I want to know who's tipping at 5:17 a.m. on a Sunday.
You're seeing 2 tip options or 3 tip options at that point, maybe.
So it's one expensive movie prop. Han Solo's Jedi blaster gun is selling for big money at an auction.
Yeah, it went over the weekend for just over $500,000.
Wow.
Ripley's Believe It or Not bought it. They're going to put it on display. This, of course, Harrison Ford used that in Star Wars The Last Jedi. Weapon is made mostly of wood, has spent 30 years in the possession of Hollywood art director James Shope. It's not the most expensive Star Wars memorabilia to have ever sold. An R2-D2 droid fetched $2.7 million at auction last year.
Very cool. So now that the cannabis legalization bill has passed, established companies are starting to market their products directly to pot users. And you're going to show us one O. Henry bar that has everyone talking.
This is fascinating, and I think you're going to see more of this. So here's O. Henry, Francis. They're coming out with a bar they say is designed for pot smokers. It's called the 425 bar. They say it's to meet your hunger needs 5 minutes after 420, which is this time of day that's become synonymous with consuming cannabis. The company goes on to say, we're excited to provide a product to meet the hunger needs associated with cannabis consumption. I had a chance to talk to one of the executives from O. Henry today.
We knew that with the legalization of marijuana, a whole lot of consumers will get hungrier. So it was just a perfect fit that we thought we needed to go after.
Do you see this as being risky in any way? Did you fear you may alienate some existing customers who mightn't be comfortable with this type of marketing?
No, actually, I feel like it's a pretty safe place to play for the brand because it's not about the consumption per se. We're focusing on hunger. And it still plays in the same territory where the brand always played. So
can we expect an O. Henry bar down the road that actually has cannabis in it?
That's not, for now, that's not our plan. Definitely not. Really, we're going to stay in Candyland.
So it's interesting, Francis, that established companies are starting to poke their toe into this market.
Well, when are the chip companies going to do it, right? You're wondering.
Absolutely. One more point to make on this. There's a big connection between O. Henry and cannabis. They used to make the O. Henry bars at the Hershey factory in Smith Falls, Ontario, which has since been sold to Canopy Growth, where they grow lots of marijuana every day.
Love how you connect the dots, Richard. Thanks for that.